we've got information to indicate that Canon might be putting 3 microphones in their new cameras, improving audio quality, eliminating wind noise, and providing audio isolation. Will Canon use 3 microphones in the upcoming Canon EOS R5 Mark II or the Canon EOS R1? Then stick around after this short message. But before we get to the details, please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera coverage. Japanese patent filing JP 2024-033576 that was filed on August the 30th, 2022 and published March the 13th, 2024 is a rather strange patent. The stated problem is to obtain an appropriate signal from a third microphone in an imaging apparatus having a simple structure. That's a little bit too vague, right? Yeah, it's rather simple. The problem statement doesn't really address a problem. It addresses how to go ahead and add a third part, a third microphone. And the means for solving it, well, just talks about how to take that part and put it into the camera. And the blueprints, they show where it's placed in multiple images, but they don't really tell us about the logical reasoning as to why they're doing it, what sort of problem they're trying to solve, or what benefits they're trying to provide, unlike other patent applications. You see, this patent application is only about 11 sections or paragraphs long. Other patent applications, well, they're considerably longer, sometimes going well north of 160 paragraphs and providing us a lot more detailed information. But maybe this might help a little bit. The last claim from the scope of claims is to perform processing on the stereo audio signals from the first and second microphones by using a signal from the third microphone. Okay, so we have microphone A and microphone B, and we're going to take that information and use the third microphone, microphone 3, to help process that information. Yeah, okay, so yeah, you're telling us how you're going to insert these microphones and a little bit of the logic, but in terms of what problem Canon's trying to solve here, or the means to solve it, that is completely absent from this patent application, which is rather strange. Normally, Canon goes into rather lengthy detail, some 160 paragraphs or sections in some patent applications. And even the images show workflow. Sometimes they show logical diagrams. But here, the diagrams that we have are simply blueprints, showing us where the microphones are going to go in relation to other parts of the camera. And the diagrams are rather detailed. It's pretty clear that these are going in stills hybrid cameras and not some other camera. I know what you're thinking. If this patent is vague and doesn't really tell us why they're doing what they're doing and the results that we can expect, what's the purpose of doing this video? You must have something, right, Simon? And yes, I do. I wouldn't put together a video like this if I didn't have any reason as to why this patent application existed, and of course, more importantly, what results we could expect. So I've come up with 6 potential benefits to this patent application and what it might do for us as photographers, or how should I say, more or less videographers, by talking to a few of my peers. Let's go ahead and start off with the first one. Stereo sound acquisition. This one's pretty obvious. We're able to capture stereo sound. By having a left mic and a right mic, we create spatial sound. And while it is possible to capture stereo sound from a single microphone, you're not going to get that depth, so this is definitely a benefit. Ambient capture. Now, one thing a third microphone does for a future camera, such as the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, the Canon EOS R1, or even the R50, is to be able to capture additional audio capture capabilities, and that's kind of a big deal. Now, the patent application once again didn't specify what sort of audio enhancements or additional capabilities would be included, but based on talking to a couple of audio experts, there's 2 that come to mind. One is directional audio, or enhanced or additional directional audio capture capabilities. And the other one, this one's kind of interesting. I like this because it's the ability to capture more enhanced ambient sound over just that kind of tinny and hollow sound that even in the Canon EOS R5 is pretty bad. If you ever forget your mic for your talent, whether it's a lavalier mic or a shotgun mic, and you have to shoot with the in-camera mic, it just sends shivers down your back. You might as well not shoot at all. Audio isolation. The housing of each mic, as you can see here in the blueprints, is separate from the other. Isolating the mics reduces the potential interference between them, leading to improved audio quality. Now, the real benefit to this is by separating the mics, it reduces the potential for audio interference, and that improves the audio quality. If you've ever worked with mics long enough, you know if you get those mics a little bit too close together, what happens? Well, you tend to get that horrible high-pitched sound. Secure mounting. The way the first, second, and third microphones are fastened ensures that the microphones are solidly fixed into place, not coming loose and creating problems. And if you've owned a Canon for a long time, maybe the 5D, the Canon EOS R5, there is a chance you might have come into a situation where if you accidentally drop the camera, the microphone port might have come loose. And this is something that's plagued some Canon cameras for a very long time and is certainly fixed with this new architecture design. Unwanted interference. This is in reference to the microphone holes. Now, I'm not talking about the hole where the microphone goes right into the camera. I'm talking about those holes that you see on a traditional camera, such as the R5, that allows the audio to get into the microphone so it can pick up the sound better. That also allows the wind to rustle around, to go in those holes and to twirl around, and in so doing creates this incredibly terrible wind noise. So the absence of those microphone holes, well, that's a big plus. That means wind noise is no longer a thing of the future. Oh, that's a good one. That's one of the most annoying things about the internal microphone in the camera. Whenever you take it outside, it's absolutely terrible. Now, when shooting inside, it does pick up really bad room reverb, but when you're outside on a windy day, it's absolutely terrible. Now, if there's no wind, the internal microphone on a Canon camera is actually pretty decent. You can use it as an amateur. I wouldn't use it for doing content for this channel, but it's a whole lot better. But whenever you have a slight breeze and the wind just goes across those microphone holes, oh, it's terrible. I could rant about this for hours, but I'm not going to. That's it for talking about wind noise. Enhanced audio quality. One of the big benefits to having so many microphones in a camera is the ability to filter out a lot of noise, to be able to process the first and second channel, to be able to create that stereo. But listening to that third microphone is what gives it the ability to filter out a lot of those unwanted sounds, to be able to provide a better ambient sound, a more full sound that you're going to be happy with. And that's a really big deal. In fact, it's such a big deal that I really do hope all 6 of these benefits that I see from this patent do come to fruition. And if you actually read through the patent, and if you actually take a look at some research and some articles that talk about various other devices that use multiple microphones, how they're able to better produce a more high quality sound where they don't pick up wind noise, they provide a more ambient, fuller sound. And that's a really big deal because there are times where I do forget to pick or pack a microphone. Last year when I went to Niagara Falls, I forgot to bring a microphone, a lavalier microphone, and that was 2 hours away from my house. And I kind of cursed myself for a little bit. There was no camera store close by, and even with same-day shipping, I wouldn't have got a microphone in time, and it would have cost me at least several $100s. But to actually have an in-camera microphone that doesn't suffer from wind noise, that provides a more ambient, fuller sound instead of a tinny sound would be, well, it would make me happy. And I think it would make an awful lot of other people happy. Now, does that mean you would no longer need to buy a shotgun mic or a lavalier mic? No, I don't think so, because one thing about sound, it's like cameras. You can go out there and buy the best camera that has a 45 megapixel sensor, or you can buy a smartphone with a 45 megapixel sensor. But when it comes to shooting in low light or other harsh environments, you're going to find that the camera is just going to produce so much better results. And it's the same with audio. Even with all these improvements in camera, to provide us with a much better, higher quality sound, a more full and ambient sound, it's not going to replace a lavalier mic or a shotgun mic because they have a different sound envelope. They just sound that much better. And if you've never played around with a shotgun mic or a lavalier mic, I highly recommend giving one a chance. For my shooting needs, I have both the Sennheiser MKE 400, or is it the 440? I believe it's the 400. I think it's a terrific mic. The one thing I like about this, while it does use batteries, while your camera's off, it's not, the battery's basically not being used. It turns itself off. And as soon as you flick the camera into power on mode, the microphone becomes active and will start listening in. it produces a very good sound. Now, what I find about the Rode mic, I have the Rode Video Mic Pro, is that it just provides you with way too much bass starting off, which is a bit of a problem. And I get it, if you like bass, that's good, but with the Sennheiser, you can add the bass later through EQs and other tools. You can't quite take the bass away. In fact, it can be a little bit annoying. And yes, I know you can play around with the EQ, but when it comes to sound, you're better off getting that line level sound close to 0 dB, without any filters, without auto limiters. You want to avoid that stuff. You want to set up the mic properly. And if you can shoot with a 32-bit mic, I highly recommend it, because there's going to be certain situations where you're going to be shooting and somebody gets excited and it clips and it's terrible. And the nice thing is, when you do get somebody who's really excited, you want to capture the audio so it doesn't clip. And I've run into those situations myself. Now, shooting in the studio, I have a 32-bit mic, but I think I record in 24-bit because I don't change my audio profile that much. It stays at pretty much the same level. So why generate larger file sizes that have to be processed later? I just don't see the point to it. And I keep my, what is it? Just medium high is the gain level. I pick the gain level, and then in post I do play around with, I've got a lot of filters that I apply in post. But I'm pretty happy with this patent application. When I first read it several days ago, I thought, this one's boring, but you know, download the prints and everything and I'll look at it later. I looked at it later and I thought, yeah, boring, still not buying it. So another day went by, and another day, and then I picked it up today and I thought, actually, no, I do see some benefits here. There's some other products out there that have multiple microphones, not just 2, but 3. And I thought, reached out to a few peers of mine, and then I saw the potential for this. But what's really interesting, unlike other patent applications, Canon leaves out all the benefits of why they're doing this. And it's almost a very sterile patent application. I think the only thing they're really protecting here is the placement of the microphones in the camera, and that's more or less it, because trust me, go ahead and download this one, go ahead and read the English translated version, and you're going to find that it doesn't really tell us a whole much. And that's the big surprise here. But if you want to stay up to date on all the latest camera gear news and rumors, whether it's the Canon EOS R5 and what the latest specifications of the hour are, the Canon EOS R1, new lenses, new sale prices, or the coverage of patent applications, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel, choose all notifications, and follow me on X. I do tweet out quite a bit these days about videos that I publish, but also information about patent applications and pricing, stuff that isn't quite big enough to have its own separate video. And I want to say a big thanks to everybody that's used my affiliate links. These guys right here, I have them right down in the description. If you're looking at purchasing any camera gear from Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com, by using these affiliate links, it doesn't cost you anything, but I get anywhere from 2 to 12% back, which is really what has made this channel what it is today. That's allowed me to buy the 200 to 800, the 100 to 500, the 100mm f2.8, the 50mm f1.2, the Canon EOS R5, and what's going to allow me to buy the R5 Mark II this year, and the R1 if it's truly the master of everything and the jack of all trades. But that's it for now. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.